Oh, hi. Yeah, I guess we'll take a look at the new releases this week, including the new Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet. Hello, and welcome to Parents Guide to Games. My name is Stefan. Please like, share, and subscribe. We had the games week of November 15th, 2022. The first game on the list is Pentiment. It's coming on Xbox Series X and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood and gore, sexual themes, strong language, and violence. This is a narrative adventure game in which players assume the role of an illustrator who must uncover the truth behind a series of murders. As players explore the medieval abbey in Germany, they can make dialogue choices that influence the outcome of the narrative. Some choices lead to instances of violence and/or gore. A man using a rifle to shoot villagers, characters decapitated by an executioner, characters strangled to death, a man sliced a deer's throat. These sequences are often accompanied by bloodstains and effects. The game contains some sexual material in the dialogue. Swear words appear in the game. Next up is Smurfs Kart. It's coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone. The content descriptions: mild cartoon violence. This is a multiplayer racing game in which players race with characters from the Smurfs franchise. As players race through tracks and whimsical locations, they can pick up and use power-ups and slow down opponents. Some projectiles power-ups cause brief explosions. Now let's take a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. This is coming on PlayStation 5. The rating is everyone 10 and up. The content descriptions: fantasy violence. This is an action game in which players help the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles defeat the villain Shredder. Players traverse 2D side-scrolling levels and use punches, kicks, and cartoony weapons to battle enemies. Combat is sometimes frantic, highlighted by impact sounds, mild explosions, and screen shaking effects. Now let's take a look at Wise 8 Lacrimosa of Dana. This is coming on PlayStation 5. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: blood, fantasy violence, language, suggestive themes, and use of alcohol. This is an action role-playing game in which players lead adventurers on a quest to escape a mysterious island. As players explore the environment, they interact with characters, engage in quests, battle fantasy beasts. Characters use swords, hammers, firearms, and magic spells to battle enemy creatures in melee-style combat. Battles are frantic and highlighted by bursts of light, impact sounds, and screen shaking effects. Blood spatter effects sometimes appear as characters are injured. One sequence depicts a large display of blood as creatures are killed. Some female characters wear outfits that expose large amounts of cleavage. One prolonged sequence depicts a female character covered her body after losing her towel. During the course of the game, a character appears drunk, swaying from side to side, with a flushed face and an audible hic in the dialogue. Swear words are heard in-game. Now it's time to take a look at Call of Duty Warzone 2.0. This is on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, and use of drugs. This is a first-person shooter set in the Call of Duty universe in which players engage in a variety of multiplayer combat events. Players use machine guns, shotguns, and sniper rifles and explosions to kill enemy soldiers in frantic combat. Battles are highlighted by realistic gunfire, screams of pain, blood splatter effects, and explosions. A handful of weapons and attacks result in decapitation or dismemberment. Finishing moves sometimes depict dramatic stabbings and headshots with close-up blood and gore effects. The game contains badges and banners that depict illusions of marijuana leaves and/or characters smoking joints. Swear words appear in the game. Next up is Goat Simulator 3. This is coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is teen. The content descriptions: crude humor, language, and violence. This is a simulation game in which players control a goat whose goal is to cause as much destruction as possible in an open world environment. Players earn points by using the goat's abilities to destroy objects and complete challenges. Several stunts involve violence, electrocuting pedestrians, shooting fireballs by bystanders, and detonating bombs, pushing humans off cliffs. Damage to humans is depicted by ragdoll effects, running and screaming, and it's getting set on fire. The game contains instances of crude humor. Swear words appear in the dialogue. Next up is Spider-Man's Miles Morales. This is going on PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions: blood, drug references, language, and violence. This is an action game in which players assume the role of Miles/Spider-Man as he battles the underground gangs and villains while attempting to save New York City from attacks. From a third-person perspective, players fight crime, swing around buildings, and engage in melee combat with enemies. Characters mostly punch, kick, and throw each other during fights. Miles can use special electric-based attacks. Some enemies use pistols and or machine guns during fights. Gunshots result in small splashes of blood when characters are hit. Cutscenes depicts additional active violence, a character beaten with clubs while tied to a chair, an explosion that kills a character, a handful of lines in the dialogue referencing running or dealing drugs. Swear words appear in the dialogue. The next game is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This is coming out on Nintendo Switch. The rating is everyone. The content descriptions: comic mischief, mild cartoon violence. This is a role-playing game in which players assume the role of a Pokemon trainer trying to become champion. Players explore the fictional Paldea region and engage in turn-based combat with other trainers. Players select various attacks from menu and defeat Pokemon. Melee-style attacks are also used, as impact sounds, light effects, and diminishing health bars indicate damage. One creature is seen with a large drop of mucus hanging from its nose. Now let's take a look at Resident Evil 3. This is coming on Nintendo Switch. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, and strong language. This is a survival horror action game in which players assume the role of a special unit's member as she tries to escape the zombie outbreak. From a third person's perspective, players traverse various environments as they avoid being attacked by zombies and large enemy creatures. Players use pistols, machine guns, and shotguns, and explosions to defend themselves and kill creatures. Some attacks result in decapitation or dismemberment of enemies, often accompanied by large splatters of blood. Cutscenes depict additional acts of violence: a man executed at close range, a character impaled to the chest by a creature's tentacles. A handful of areas depict mutilated corpses and zombies with exposed organs. Swear words appear in the dialogue. And the last game on today's list with a full description is the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. This is coming out PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC. The rating is mature. The content descriptions: blood and gore, intense violence, and strong language. This is a survival horror game in which players follow a film crew trying to escape a murder on an excluded island. As players follow various characters, they can interact with environmental elements and make action dialogue choices that influence the story progression. Some choices lead to the depiction of intense violence: a woman crushed to death by a wall, a woman stabbed in the eye, a man set on fire, a woman tortured with acid. Players occasionally forced to choose between saving one character's lives or another, with some outcomes resulting in the deaths of multiple characters. Some sequences depict decapitation or mutilation. Blood splatter effects occur when the characters are injured or killed. Large blood stains are sometimes depicted. Swear words are heard in the game. And the rest of the games on today's list are also coming out, but no information was available. Thank you to bensound.com for the music track. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube at Parents Guide to Games, on Facebook at Parents Guide to Games, on Twitter at ParentsG2G, and email any questions or concerns at parentsg2g@gmail.com. And always, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.